just reminiscing again, and I've got more proof that the elders are Jehovah's chosen ones. I've got proof that it's the Holy Spirit that has definitely chosen them. Talking about a chap, he just reminded me of the picture on the Uncle Ben's packet rice and the Uncle Ben's products. He'd got that kind of face, except it was more judgmental and not so friendly looking. Back in the 80s, he went on the platform at the Kingdom Hell, and he gave a tirade against facial hair. He was saying how worldly moustaches were and how worldly sideburns, or if you're in the UK, sideboards are. And I don't mean the sideboards that are made of wood, although probably they might be deemed worldly if they think they've got a demon in them or something. So facial hair, he was having a go about that. And I think he put a few noses out of joint because... Another meeting later, he got on the platform and apologised for what he had said. But I think he still kept his own thoughts and his own judgments, and he still really believed them, but he was forced into saying, sorry, because I think there was at least one circuit overseer that had got a moustache. Oh dear, how satanic. Oh dear. Just imagine when Armageddon comes, the angel of death is going to be coming through the UK looking to see who's had a shave this morning. Idiotic. It just makes me think that these Holy Spirit anointed brothers and these ones that are chosen by a trademark using Holy Spirit, they kind of force their own personal preference onto the congregation. It's kind of a power trip for them. It's them being bullies. They're getting the kind of power in the congregation that nowhere else would anybody be insane enough to let them loose. You wouldn't even let them loose with a feather duster. They're that stupid. Oh, yeah, it's the fags, although I don't smoke. Must be somebody else's fags. And what about white socks? Does anybody remember the White Sox debacle? Or debacle, or however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. Pronounce it how you want. Where it was frowned upon to have white socks in the congregation because they thought it was a sign of homosexuality. You were obviously a shirtlifter if you wore white socks, and Satan was in your brain, and Jehovah was going to murder you soon. They also went as far as to being stupid about white shirts. There was one congregation in the Lincolnshire area of the UK that banned any of the shirts for visiting speakers apart from white shirts. And you're not going to believe this, or you probably will, but they had a cupboard full of white shirts in different sizes hanging on hangers there. In case a visiting speaker came without a white shirt, I would have punched him in the face if that had been me visiting that congregation. However, a Holy Spirit appointed circuit overseer went to that congregation in a different coloured shirt, and he told them, no way, man, no way, Jehovah will murder you if you do this, or some sort of dizzy rubbish like that. Now, speaking of dizzy, talk about bandwagoning. This reminds me of a rather fickle young man that I did a demonstration with at an assembly. He'd been listening to all these cobblers about backward masking on records. I'm laughing in advance because I know what's coming. He was saying, oh yes, all the demons can get to you through records and LPs and heavy rock music. Hey, I like heavy rock music, but don't tell anybody. Oh, he said, I was listening to an LP by the Electric Light Orchestra. Oh, the ELO. Oh, the demonic Electric Light Orchestra. He said, oh, that backward masking on. It made me feel dizzy. electric light orchestra. What a knob. How demonic are the Electric Light Orchestra? Well, they did say Bruce in one of their songs, so maybe they are evil. Maybe they are. Oh dear, oh dear. Grand Theft Auto, you call it in the US. We call it nicking cars over here in the UK. Car theft. There was a young brother. His parents were divorced because his mother shagged a Bethel boy. They got married in the end, so she left her husband. The Bethel boy got disfellowshipped for a bit, and so anyway, they got married. They brought this lad up. Fairly recently, he was charged by the police because he was involved in car theft. Him and some other worldly non-Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, the terrible, terrible worldly people who are all evil and demonic, and God's going to murder them soon. Phew! So he was involved in Grand Theft Auto. Was that all right? Was that accent all right for you? Anyway, cut a long story short. Any road up, Chuck. Cut a long story short. His stepfather was, although he was disfellowshipped, he was now an elder on the body of elders in the congregation. What was amazing was his father, not the steplad, but the elder's father was also on the body. His uncle was also on the body. His brothers were also on the body. You see what's going on here. A whole nepotistic family of elders virtually ran the congregation. In fact, I don't think there were any elders on that body of elders particularly that weren't related. So what happens to this lad who's been charged with nicking cars? What happens to him? Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. He still handled the mics. He still had all his privileges. Nothing happened to him. I wonder why that was. Oh, well, it must have been Holy Spirit. No way. I'm talking like discreet slave now. No way could it have... hope you don't mind, discreet slave. No way could it have been because there was nepotism going on in the body of elders. Oh, but there was really, wasn't there? There was. Doesn't it just prove that these are Spirit-appointed men, and they're doing Jehovah's will? What a coincidence that this young man who'd nicked a car was related to virtually all of the body of elders. Oh, that was just a coincidence, because it was Jehovah that made the decision in the end. No, get away, it was nepotism. It was nepotism. That's proof to me that Jehovah's Holy Spirit is working. Oh, no, actually, no, it isn't. It's just men. It's just men with their own personal preferences. It's just men being bullies. It's just men. There's no God involved at all. Whether you believe in God or not, it doesn't matter. There's no God involved in the Jehovah's Witness. The only God are the men themselves. Funnily enough, some of us, we were not necessarily the in crowd, but I was sort of associated with the in crowd that I was talking about on another video. And we all joined up with some worldly people. Worldly people. We associated with worldly people. I mean, one of the guys that arranged this trip that we went on to a beer garden. He's now a circuit overseer. Lived a charmed life, really. Everything seemed to go all right for him. We went to this beer cellar, and not only me but him, we all got totally K-lied. We got drunk. I mean, we were pioneering at the time. We got sloshed, and we trashed the place. That's a good American word, isn't it? We trashed the place. We were on top of the tables, kicking beer glasses. We trashed the place. We made a real mess of it. And even coming out of the beer cellar, somebody put a brick through a shop window, and we all rolled home. I got covered in vomit. And the next day we were all cleaned up and going to the meeting and answering up as if nothing had happened. And do you know what? Nothing did happen. Nothing came back to us. Nothing at all. This guy's now a circuit overseer. Isn't that marvellous? It's proof that Jehovah is working, and it's proof that he protects his people. Now, a few years before all this happened, I started work, and I worked in an office with a chap whose one of his relatives was a witness. And one day he came up to me. He's quite a discerning chap. I learned a lot from him, actually. He wasn't a witness. He was just a great bloke. And he came up to me and showed me this letter that he'd got. "Have a read of that, lad," he said. "Tell me what you think of it." So I read it. Read through this letter. I didn't know who it was from, but it was sort of saying about Jehovah's Witnesses, God's going to kill you soon, Armageddon, love, Bible, truth, all the buzzwords, you know. And it was written to him from his JW relative, sort of advertising the Borg and the Borganisation. He said, "Tell me honestly, boy, what did you think of that then?" So I told him. I said, "To be honest with you, mate," I said, "it looks as if it's written by a loony." And I had to say that because that was my honest response. I mean, what I should have said was, "Oh, it's marvellous. Oh, follow the instructions in the letter, and Jehovah God, trademark, won't murder you soon." And believe it or not, this was just prior to 1975. But I still thought this letter was written by a loony. So perhaps even in those days there was hope for me. Well, perhaps not. So here I am, mentally diseased apostate. Couldn't care less about it. I'm glad of it. I'm glad I'm out. And I think looking back, that there was some kind of personality within me, something within me that was already stirring, that was already fighting against the Borg programming. And I think it kind of, it took the internet to help me emerge. And I left Jehovah's Witnesses and I went straight to a church because the witnesses had slagged off churches so much and said how bad churches were. I wanted to experience it for myself. And do you know what I found? Loving people. I'm not saying you should go to church or not, you know. Okay, so I'm a Christian, but I'm not saying whether you should go to church or not. In fact, sometimes I'm even confused about whether I actually believe in God or not. But I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. But what I do find is I do enjoy going to churches. It makes me feel connected with people, with some kind of spirituality, which I enjoy. Take it or leave it. Perhaps it's not your thing. But when I go into a church, because I've been to several churches, different ones, and they don't know me, I don't walk in there and the people think, "Oh, I wonder if this is a potential Bible study. I wonder if I get lots of books from the book counter, whether I can count them as placements with this person. Oh, I wonder if I can have a study with this person. Oh, I wonder if they're disfellowship. Maybe I shouldn't talk to them. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's the travelling speaker. Or yeah, could be the travelling speaker. I don't know who it is. Should I talk to him? Should I not? If I do talk to him, am I wasting my time because he's already baptized? If I do talk to him, will God murder me soon because he's disfellowshipped? I don't know. There's none of that in the churches. You go in there and people smile, they shake your hand, they're happy to meet you, they greet you, they have, you know, tea, biscuits, cake after the service. It's all very friendly. Never found that in the kingdom hell, ever. Never found that in the kingdom hell at all. Anyway, my lovies, I love you so much. I'm going to miss you until next time. I'll probably run out of stuff to say again, like I always do, but I keep coming back. Anyway, good wishes to you all. Ain't it though?